Hello again. In this video, we will learn the spelling rules when we change the base form of the verb into ing form. In some cases, we have to drop certain letters. In other cases, we have to double the last consonant, or in some cases, we have to add an extra letter. So what are the rules? Let's dive into the world of spelling and learn all about the spelling rules when we make the verb its ing form. The first rule is that if the last E, which is vowel, is silent and you are adding ing to make the ing form of the verb, then the last E will be dropped. As make, the last E is silent, and when I am making its ing form, I am dropping the E here. I say making. The spelling not makeing. E will be dropped. Right? The last E is silent. So when I make its ing form, so it will be writing, not a teing. And the pronunciation of the two words is make and write, not make and write. Because last E's of these two verbs or other verbs, when silent, they are dropped while adding the suffix ing. But if the last E is pronounced, it is not silent, then in that case, it will be retained. It will not be dropped. As in the verbs see, the last E is pronounced, or double E are pronounced, so it is E. And when I am changing it into ing form, so both the E's are kept here. Agree, double E, and the E is pronounced. So when I change it into ing form, both the E's are kept. So the summary is, if the last E is silent, it will be dropped. If the last E is pronounced, it will be kept while changing the verb into ing form. Then the next rule is that if your verb ends in IE and you are making the ing form of such verb, then IE will change into Y. Change into Y. That means that we will remove IE, and in place of IE, we will use Y, and then we will add ing. As in the verbs like die, IE, I will drop IE, then in place of IE, I will use Y, and then I will use ing. Lie, IE will be dropped, then I will use Y, and then I will add ing. So that's the rule number 2 of the spelling rule of the ing form of the verb. Then the rule number 3 is about one syllable verbs. If the verb is one syllable and the construction of the verb, I mean to say the spelling construction is like consonant plus vowel plus consonant. So consonant comes first, then vowel comes, then in the end we have consonant. So in that case, when we will add ing, the last consonant will be doubled. Let's have a look at some examples I've written for you. STOP, T consonant, O vowel, P consonant. When I will add ing here, so I will say STOPPING. The last consonant will be doubled. Rob, R consonant, O vowel, B consonant, and while adding ing, robbing. That's the rule number 2. Sorry, rule number 3. But there are also exceptions to this rule. That means sometimes we do not follow this rule. If your verb ends in W, X and Y, these are also consonants. But W and Y are also in some cases used as vowels. We call them semi-vowels, but I'm talking about when they are used as consonants. So if your verb ends in W, X and Y, so in that case you will not double them. They will remain single. Even if you have consonant-vowel-consonant formation that we have discussed here as slow, consonant, vowel, consonant, but still W is single when we are making its ing form. Fix, consonant, vowel, consonant, but still X is singular. Play, consonant, vowel, consonant, but still Y is single. So this is exception to the rule number 3. Rule number 4 is about stress. In English, we follow intonation pattern in order to be more clear through the communication or while we communicate with the people. So if you have a verb, mostly 2-syllable verb, and your stress is on the first syllable or the second syllable, the rules will change. The first rule is if your stress is on the second syllable. What is syllable? What are the parts of a word? If you are interested to know more about the terms syllable or the parts of word or verb, do watch my video on syllable. I have already made a special video on that thing. For now, let us learn the spelling rule. So the rule number first, or the basic rule, is that if your stress is on the second syllable, you have bisyllable verb, your stress is on the second syllable, and the formation of the verb is consonant, vowel, consonant, as we have discussed here in the rule number 3, then the last consonant will be doubled as F, consonant, vowel, consonant, but the stress is on F, the second syllable. So the pronunciation of this verb is prefer. Prefer. F is more stressed than when I'm adding ing, so this last R will be doubled. So preferring. And the same cases, same way we will do with other verbs like admit. Admit. So the stress is on mit. So consonant, vowel, consonant. While adding ing, I will double the last consonant. But this rule will not be applied if your stress is on the first syllable. Not on the second syllable, but first syllable. As we have verb open. Open. My stress is on O. And it has 2 syllables. Again, the formation is same, that is consonant, vowel, consonant, but the stress matters here. The stress is on the first syllable, open. While adding ing, in this case, the last consonant will remain single. So the spelling will be O-P-E-N-I-N-G, not N-N, like T-T and R-R here. Then the next verb is visit. The stress is on the first syllable, visit. And when I add ing, So the spelling will be Visitting. If I'm doubling the last consonant in these two verbs where the stress is on the first syllable, that will be spelling mistake. So take care of that thing. If the stress on the second syllable, last consonant will be doubled. If the stress on first syllable, the last consonant will be single while adding ing. Rule number 5 is very interesting. You must have done that thing many times, but never have noticed or may have noticed that if your verb ends in IC, like PANIC, PICNIC. So if your verb ends on IC and you are making the ing form of such verb, then you will have to add one extra letter, that is K, and then you will add ing. So PACNICK. K is not in the normal spelling of picnic or panic, but when we are making the ing form of such verbs, K comes or we add K. So PANICKING, PICNICKING. So that is the rule number 5, that if the verb ends on IC, add K, then ing. The last, maybe the second last rule is that if the verb ends in L, so again the concept is same, that is consonant, vowel, consonant. L is also consonant. So we should double the last L or not. That is up to you, whether you are following American or British spelling. In British spelling, in that case, the last L is doubled. In American English, the last L remains single. Let's have a look at some verbs. In British, TRAVEL, V consonant, E vowel, L consonant. While changing the ing form, I will double the last consonant, that is TRAVELLING. Cancel, CANCELLING. But if I prefer American English, so TRAVELING, CANCELING. So both the spellings are correct. It's all about the region, American or British. Then the question arises that if my verb ends on Y, because if you remember that in the second and third form we learned that Y changes into I before adding D or ED. So do we follow the rule here too while adding ing? The answer is no. If your verb ends in Y, just add ing, nothing else. Like play, ing form PLAYING. Try. Even if this may you think that okay, Y has vowel, that's why it is intact. But what about the word try? Y has consonant before it, but still the spelling is TRYING. So this was all about the spelling rules we follow while changing the base form of the verb into present participle or ing form. If you like this video, do like and subscribe. And if you have any question, do ask me in the comments. I'm also giving the description of all that thing in the description section. Until my next video, bye bye.